In this episode of the podcast, we break new ground with an apology from Mexico, our first from that great nation. Sadly, it's an apology saturated with regret. Greetings. This is The Hardest Word. I'm Brett DeHoot.
I'm sorry for that.
I'm really sorry.
Forgive me.
And I deeply regret we hadn't done it.
My remorse.
I'm sorry.
I apologize.
Our first apology from Mexico comes from Camila Delgado, who lives outside Merida. And of course, this might be unique to us in that it comes from Mexico, but the theme of Camila's apology is absolutely universal. It's an apology to her late father for not being there for him in his time of need prior to his death. Camila thought she was stronger than she was and failed to meet her, and dare I say potentially his, expectations. And that's something she's trying to make amends for with this.
He was a workaholic man. He would get up early in the morning to check our citrus farm and see to it that the trees are to bear much fruit. He does this to secure the future of his 9 children. On the year 2014, he started getting so weak. He gets tired easily and would need to catch his breath with just 10 to 15 steps going up the hill. On December 2014, he was diagnosed with leukemia. Our hearts were devastated to hear such news. We never expected such because leukemia or cancer was never detected in the line of our ancestors. There were times that he had to be confined in the hospital for blood transfusion and further studies. At first, I agreed to be his night watcher, but then, when I was inside those 4 corners, I can't help myself but to cry. He was strong. His faith was stronger, but my soul was feeble. Seeing him in that position, in that condition, makes me sorrowful. I then declined the following request to be his watcher. I can't see him that way. I kept convincing myself that what I did was okay, that he would understand. On June 2015, they were requesting for me. He fainted while preaching the gospel and was hurried to the hospital. I can't decide yet. I can't see him yet. But when I was told that he was just waiting for me, I then packed my bag and traveled for 4 hours hoping that he will be smiling when he sees me. Sadly, when the wheels of the vehicle touched the ground where he was, I received a call that made me anchor to my seat. I wept. Tears kept falling. My co-passengers were asking me why I was crying. I just can't answer back. I rushed to the hospital the moment we arrived. I saw him there, cold, with signs of tears from his eyes. He's gone. From then on, sorrow followed me whenever I looked back. With all my heart, I would like to apologize to the man I love the most for not being with him during his hard times. I was a coward, yes, because I did not want to remember him the way he looked, weak, sickly, and is near death. I just want to remember his laughter, the wrinkles in his eyes whenever he would smile up to his ears. Dad, I am sorry for not being there with you at your worst. I apologize for allowing the frail spirit swallow me. Dad, I miss you, and I deeply regret those lost times. If I were courageous enough, then maybe at your last breath, I was able to say, I love you, Daddy.
I'm sure I'm not alone in admitting that being with my father in his dying weeks and days was not easy. It was a privilege, but there were plenty of times where I wanted to take a day off or cut things short or avoid some awkward and awful discussions. But I'm forever grateful that I didn't, for both him and myself. It's a pretty hard thing to live with if you feel you haven't done your duty by your parents or loved ones in their dying days. You don't get any second chances to do the right thing. And I can still remember the last time we spent together on the night of his passing. Strangely, this apology reminds me of another that seemingly is less significant. It's one of my favourites. It's called Letter to Gran. It's in our archive, of course. It's again an apology from England in this case, full of regret and also laced with that sadness that comes when you realise that people have passed and thus you can't really make things better. Well, it's time to bring this whole sorry business to a close. On behalf of our audio director, Brian Wallace, and me, your host, Brett DeHoot, thanks for listening. The website, thehardestwordpodcast.com. Farewell.